Capricorn, welcome to your monthly horoscope for February 2024. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in this horoscope, I will be walking you through each week of February, giving you a really good understanding of the major themes, topics, and energy that you will be navigating for the month ahead. So let's get right into it. So, I first just want to start by mentioning that as we come into February, we have all planets direct, which we will have all planets direct until April 1st when Mercury stations retrograde. So, we have a couple of months to really utilize the energy and start pushing forward and implementing whatever it is that we want for 2024. Now, we also have Pluto back in Aquarius, and we had Pluto in Aquarius back in 2023 between March and June, giving us a little taste of what this Pluto in Aquarius energy is going to bring. However, in 2024, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for the majority of the year. Especially this month is when we really get an idea of what the Pluto in Aquarius energy is going to bring because we have all of the personal planets currently in Capricorn, which are going to enter Aquarius throughout the month of February, really within the first 2 weeks, and form a conjunction to Pluto. So this month, we really want to be paying attention to what is showing up for us collectively and individually, because this is really going to give us an idea of what this Pluto and Aquarius energy is going to bring, especially while Pluto is transiting the first decan of Aquarius. So, as you can see coming into the month, there is a lot of energy in your first house, and throughout the month, the energy is going to transition into your second house. Now, your first house represents your character, your personality, your physical body, your perception, so there's a lot of focus on you coming into the month. And your second house represents your money, your finances, and material possessions, also your values. Now, February 1st, we have Mercury forming a sextile to Neptune, and at this point, Mercury is still going to be in Capricorn. So, this is a great energy for creativity, especially having Neptune in that third house of communication, your mind and mindset, your thinking, and Mercury being in your first. This is really great energy, Capricorn, for, creating something around, your creativity, imagination, maybe spirituality, intuition. This is really great for that. Now, February 5th, we're going to have Mercury enter Aquarius and form a conjunction to Pluto. So Mercury is going to enter Aquarius. Now, Mercury rules your sixth house of work, health, and daily routine, and your ninth house of higher education, higher knowledge, long distance travel, philosophy, religion, belief systems. So this Mercury conjunction to Pluto can definitely be something transformational or intense showing up around those themes and topics. Or it could also have to do, with something around money, finances, material possessions, also your values. Now, on that same day, we're going to have Venus forming a square to Chiron. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So Chiron represents our wounds, our vulnerabilities. There can be, a trigger or an activation around some old hurt at this time, especially having Venus in that first house. This could be, and I'm sure for some of you, it could show up this way, image issues or, your issues around your physical body, your self-love, your self-worth, your self-confidence. There could definitely be some triggers at this time. And just know that when we have squares, this brings in opportunity for personal growth because once we move through the energy of that square, that's how we heal, that's how we transform, that's how we grow. So we're not able to grow without the difficult energy. And just remember that as we have, difficult squares. And so this is a time where there can be, something triggered around, those themes and topics. Now we're also in this Jupiter Saturn sextile energy, which at this point we've been in for a few weeks and will be in, throughout the first half of February, I believe. Now you have Saturn in your third house and Jupiter in your fifth. The creativity, passion, pleasure, play, romance, those are all fifth house themes and topics, also children, hobbies and interests. But I really love this for creativity. Like there's a lot of energy this month for you for creativity and implementing something around your creativity that can be, very long lasting and sustainable. I also love the Jupiter Saturn sextile because Saturn is in Pisces, which represents spirituality, and having Jupiter in Taurus, which is very kind of grounding, and Jupiter it represents like the growth. I don't know. I look at this as just like powerful manifestation energy where if we're really being, doing the spiritual work with that Saturn and Pisces energy, we're able to kind of manifest in such an amazing way. Now, on February 6th, we have Venus forming a T square to the nodes. And you have the North Node right here in your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. And you have the South Node in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So these areas of life are going through a lot of changes this year because the nodes represent where we are having the eclipses. And when Venus forms a T square to the nodes, this can really indicate a decision or a choice that needs to be made. This can almost to feel like wanting to go in two directions, but not being able to, having to choose, especially with that Venus in the first house. So there may be, there can be tension around this time. It can have to do with something around home, family, property, and real estate and work, or, there can be, something around career and home that's maybe restrictive, or you're feeling like you can't do both. It could maybe feel overwhelming at this time. Now, on the 7th, we're going to have Venus form a trine to Uranus. And I look at this as a beautiful surprise. Um, Venus trine Uranus. Uranus can bring in, things that are unexpected, things that are shocking. It is a trine, so it's an easy flowing energy. Venus does rule your 10th house of career and public reputation, and also your fifth house of children and creativity and romance. So there can be, something really beautiful showing up unexpectedly around those themes and topics. Now, on February 8th, we have the sun forming a square to Uranus. And the sun represents our consciousness, and Uranus rules the electrical systems in our body. So sometimes I feel like, these sun Uranus squares can bring in this unstable energy, or, having a hard time kind of high vibing in a sense. Or if you're meditating, you're just having some energetic blocks, or having a hard time connecting, something along those lines. Also too, the sun rules your Leo, which is your 8th house of your partner's finances, or money coming in from outside resources, or psychological healing and transformation, death, rebirth. So there could be something unexpected showing up in that area of life as well. Now, on February 9th, we have our new moon in Aquarius, and that new moon is ruled by Uranus, but also squaring Uranus. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on the moons because I do post separate new moon and full moon forecasts getting into the chart and all 12 rising signs. So make sure you subscribe so you can check those out. Now, what I do want to say about this new moon is that I look at the new moons, like the new moon charts, as imprints on how the intentions or the energies are going to manifest. And so the fact that this new moon is squaring Uranus shows that there's going to be, whatever you're implementing or whatever intentions you're setting at the time of the new moon, expect the unexpected with the journey and the process. Now, on February 11th, we're going to have Mercury forming a square to Jupiter. So Mercury is in Aquarius, this energy of a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of innovations. Squaring Jupiter, I look at as can be very overwhelming. Like maybe there's a lot of information coming in at this time, and you're having to, you're just feeling very overwhelmed. This can be feeling very mentally overwhelmed because Jupiter kind of has this expansion and energy. So there can, be this like mental overwhelming going on. And does that even make sense? Feeling very overwhelmed mentally. But Mercury also rules again that 6th and 9th house. So there could be something, with those themes and topics showing up as well. And also Mercury being in your 2nd house, which rules your money, your finances, and material possessions. There could be, something showing up around those themes and topics as well that you're having to navigate. Now, on February 11th is when we start the North Node Chiron conjunction, which is a 2-week transit. And this is an interesting one because, Chiron ruling our wounds, our vulnerabilities, the North Node representing something new, like a new direction, a new journey, very karmic energy. I really look at this as, and this is something we're all moving through in our own way, but there's definitely going to be opportunity here for amazing healing and growth. So we want to pay attention to what's showing up for us on an individual level with this conjunction. Because if we can really heal and move through this energy, it can completely change the trajectory of our journey. So we really want to be paying attention at this time to, what is showing up. Now, once we get to the second week of February, on the 13th, we're going to have Mars enter Aquarius and form a conjunction to Pluto. So, Mars is going to enter that second house. And we know that Mars can be very volatile. Mars rules anger and aggression and conflict. So, Mars and Pluto, connecting, we're definitely going to be feeling this on a collective level. Now, individually, Mars rules your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. So there can definitely be something intense showing up at this time that you're having to navigate, around your home, around your family. Now, Mars and Pluto both rule your 11th house of friends and friendships and social groups and online connections. So there could be something very deep, intense, and transformational showing up in that area of life as well at this time. And of course, this is happening in your second house. So it may also have to do with your money and your finances, maybe your values, maybe something very intense is showing up, shifting your values in some way or, around your money and finances. Now, on that same day, we're also going to have Venus form a sextile to Neptune, and Venus is still going to be in Capricorn at this point in your first house, or at this time in your first house. And so, again, this is great for creativity, imagination, and romance. On the 14th, and I don't know why I just kind of did the Jupiter Saturn sextile because they reach like the next degree point, and I kind of just wanted to show that, we're kind of still in this Jupiter Saturn sextile. But on the 16th, we have Venus entering Aquarius and forming a conjunction to Pluto. So Venus ruling your 10th house of career and public reputation, and also that fifth house, there could be something showing up around your career that could be very intense you're having to navigate, that could be very transformational. There can also be something with children showing up that can be very, life changing and transformational. There can be something around your creativity or your hobbies, your interests, your public image, even too, because it's that 10th house and the fifth house. So you see how this entire, first 2 weeks of February, there's quite a lot of intense energy. Like we really are in this time of change, transition, and transformation. Now, we're also going to have Mercury squaring Uranus on that same day. So, Mercury squaring Uranus, Mercury being in Aquarius, again, this is our mind, our mindset. This can be very mental, right? This could be a lot of anxiety. There can be, again, overwhelming, but just a lot of instability with this Mercury squaring Uranus. This can also be, getting some very shocking information, shocking messages, possibly around your money and finances, because Mercury's in that second house. On the 18th, we're going to have the sun enter Pisces. You have Pisces in your third house of community, neighbors, neighborhood, communication, your mindset. And you have Saturn in Pisces, or we all have Saturn in Pisces, but you have Saturn in your third house. So where we have Saturn transiting our birth chart, Saturn makes us become more responsible in this area of life or changes our responsibilities in some way. So Saturn can be completely changing your mindset over the next couple of years. Saturn is going to be in Pisces for the whole year of 2024. Actually, Saturn will be in Pisces till 2026. So this entire year, we're navigating this energy. Saturn can be changing something in this area of life, making you become more responsible. It could have to do with community, neighbors, maybe certain things you're involved in within your community. Also, vehicles is in the third house. Siblings and cousins also are represented in the third house. So there can be a lot changed here. And we want to keep in mind that during Pisces season, we now have Saturn. So just like in Aquarius season, we now have Pluto. Saturn did not enter Pisces until just after Pisces season was over. So we missed kind of Saturn and Pisces last year. So this is our first Pisces season with Saturn in, 30 years. So it's definitely going to feel a little different. Now, on February 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we have the cosmic lovers coming together. Venus and Mars are going to form a conjunction. That conjunction will come exact on the 22nd at 6, I think it's like 6 degrees, 59 minutes, which is really interesting. This is in your second house of money and finances. So generally speaking, this is great for romantic connections, for, passion, romance. The interesting thing about this is like, I do think February is going to be really big for, seeing protests, possibly riots, just because of all of this intense energy. Actually, when we had the Venus Mars conjunction in Capricorn a couple of years ago, that is when we had the trucker convoy in Canada. So it's really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how this is presented, especially, collectively. But individually, this can be, a very romantic time just naturally. Now, on the 23rd, we're going to have Mercury enter Pisces. So this can be great for, creativity, your mindset, like focusing maybe more on shifting your mindset in some way, bringing more focus to that third house. Maybe you're thinking more about, getting involved within your community, or, the Mercury in the third is just bringing a little bit more attention to that third house. Now, on the 24th, we're going to have our full moon in Virgo at 5 degrees. And you have Virgo in your ninth house of higher education, higher knowledge, long distance travel, philosophy, religion. Astrology is also in the ninth house, belief systems. And so that full moon is going to be lighting this area of your chart up, bringing more focus to those themes and topics. And again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a new moon or full moon forecast, because I will be going into the chart for this energy. Now, on that same day, we also have Venus squaring Jupiter. So Venus now in Aquarius squaring Jupiter. Whenever we have a Venus Jupiter square, we do want to watch for overindulgence. That can be a thing, maybe spending too much money, especially with Venus in that second house of money and finances. There could definitely be, something financial showing up at this time that you're having to navigate. Venus rules your 10th house. It could be something around your career that you're having to navigate, maybe feeling overwhelmed, or, something that you're having to navigate with career. And again, Venus ruling that fifth house of children. So there can be, something with these areas of life you're having to work through. Now, once we get to the fourth week of February, on the 26th, we have Mars squaring Jupiter. And I look at this energy as just like feeling very overwhelmed, not knowing how to take action. Mars represents how we're taking action. Now, of course, this is going to show up different collectively, but on an individual level, Mars representing anger, aggression, and conflict, how we take action, motivation, willpower, drive. This could be just a time where we're struggling with that. There could be feelings of defeat, feelings of not knowing how to take action. There can also be something, again, showing up around money and finances you're having to navigate. Mars rules that fourth house of home and family. So there could be something around your home or your family that you're having to navigate at this time. And then on the 27th and the 28th, we have the Mercury Sun Saturn Cazimi, which is really interesting and unique. So generally, usually when we have a Mercury Cazimi, this is a time of clarity and insight. And this is in your third house of your mindset and communication and your thinking and, all of that. So it's really interesting how, there can definitely be some aha moments or intuitive downloads at this time. There could be something that is just clicking, making sense. There can definitely be a shift in your mindset at this time towards something. Now, because Saturn is involved, this is where it gets interesting, because it could represent, like, it could indicate that we have this really powerful insight and an aha moment and are able to implement it in such a constructive way. But it can also bring in, delays and hardship and challenge and time. Either way, this is a very karmic energy because Saturn rules karma as well. So there's something too, very karmic coming in this area of life as well that we want to be mindful of. Now, on the 29th, we're going to have Mercury sextile Jupiter and then the Sun sextile Jupiter. So I really love this for, whatever challenge we navigated for February. It's like as we get to the end of the month, there's this clarity, there's this insight, there's, these feelings of optimism coming back and opportunity and kind of knowing and understanding, or at least gaining some clarity on the direction to move in as we reach the end of the month. So I do love that. Now, Capricorn, I hope that this helps you navigate the energies for February. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you align with my energy. I post monthly forecasts, or I will be posting these monthly forecasts every single month, either on the last or the first day of the month. This is my first one. I wanted to start with all planets direct. I also post weekly forecasts and then new moon and full moon forecasts. So make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video. And thank you again for joining me, and I will connect with you in the next one.